Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showing off something I didn't even think was possible. It's a Synchro deck in 2020 without needle fiber, without the Crystron Hulk, which I was really surprised by because that isn't like every single Yu-Gi-Oh deck these days, and especially for Synchro decks, they really want to take advantage of just being able to special summon a tuner, and then on top of that, being able to make something from the extract during their opponent's turn. And it still could be a good card. By the way, make Crystal Wing Synchro just like you guys saw before Librarian. The reason why is because you don't want your opponent to go ahead and use some hand traps on you and completely ruin your combo here. But the deck is very resilient on being able to kind of pump out a board, and you have some decent recovery with Avarice if your opponent happens to stop you midway through one of your plays. Plus, there's that new triple card where you get the effective Pot of Greed. In this instance, we didn't even have enough time. We still had enough time, if we would have, we still can special summon Jester Confit. We still have the Starlight Junction to go ahead and wreck our opponent even harder. There's still more combos that could have went off here, but again, limited by time. We're looking at like a 5 negate, plus this card makes it so your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Synchro monsters with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in their original names. Plus, if we go ahead and make something, which when this card goes away, you're going to be bringing out another card, which is treated as Synchro Summons to get to shuffle something from the field back on to the deck. So that play, unfortunately, was just not enough time. But you might be thinking, alright, hold on, let me watch this deck go second. I want to see it get disrupted. I want to see it get wrecked. I want to see a game that lasts a little bit longer than turn 1 and negate everything. I get you. But this is up against Elder Lich. This card is still way overpriced in my opinion. In fact, I'll be honest, I think this deck is a little bit overhyped. It doesn't have not nearly as much negates as a lot of good decks, but it does have that ability to make it so you summon a monster with relatively decent attack. It's a boss monster temporarily with decent stats, and it can't be destroyed by effects. And then on top of that, you happen to have the Conquistador, which lets you kind of disrupt your opponent midway through one of their plays. He's got a Purgatrio, so it can get lots of attack, but lots of attack doesn't really mean anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part. Anyways, Librarian comes out, and then we've also got Charged Warrior, so draw 1 off of Warrior, 1 off of Librarian. Then we see the Crystal Queen Synchro Dragon. Excellent card indeed. Again, no Needle Fiber. If you guys are wondering, is he just not playing Needle Fiber or Crystron Hal because he doesn't want to? No. Double Shaman actually does lock you out, but it does let you go ahead and bring back a Doppel Warrior, which then will grant you the ability to continue off with your combos. Now we have the Starlight Junction up on the board, which is quite nice, which lets you shuffle a card back during your opponent's turn if you Synchro Summon for something, which this card is treated as Synchro Summon. Once this card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you're going to be able to bring out an extra card. So he's going to go ahead and negate with the Crystal Wing. He's going to go ahead and bring out the copy of Makaba with the negate of a monster effect. Not that it really matters at this point because there's just too much for him to deal with. Tuning comes out, and he's going to go ahead and summon the Junk Synchron, and then another copy of the Conquistador going to be activated, loses out on Crystal Wing, and now he's going to go ahead and summon a Doppel. He's going to go ahead and start running over some of the stuff, but he's going to go ahead and boost up the stats of that monster over there. And he still happens to have 2 copies of the Golden Land over here, so he could go ahead and maybe go into some more combos, but he's going to go ahead and lose out to the Draco Berserker. Pretty much if he was to make something in the extract, which most people play like a couple of rank 5s, okay, Pleiades over here is what he's playing. He's not gonna, he wouldn't get that effect anyways. He would just go ahead and just banish the monster. But nonetheless, he decides to go ahead and get rid of that card. He's also got the Elder Lich over here. But Pot of Avarice is going to let this deck have a lot more recovery. Pot of Avarice can actually be a card that lets you play out of a hand trap, depending on when your opponent stops something. If they stop Junk Synchron immediately, yeah, you could be out of luck. But there are lots of cards in your hand that can continue your combos, like Jester Confit, just freely special summons itself. But I thought it was really cool to see a deck, again, without Needle Fiber, because that's in every single Synchro build. And I'll give you guys the deck profile in a moment here. And in the first duel, just like you saw, we're summoning another copy of Herald of Arclight. This card absolutely destroys a lot of decks because it has that effect where any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. So that locks your opponent out of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For some decks, because they really need to be able to get those monsters into the graveyard, because that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh works. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and attempt to go for the Hero of the Golden Land, but that's going to get stopped by the Herald. And he still happens to have the Elder-Lich, but the Elder-Lich not going to be doing too good over here. Pot of Avarice once again coming in, and that card is just so amazing. Double Shaman, going to be activating that effect to special summon. It's up to 4 level 2 monsters. Like, that's a huge amount. It does negate their effects, but it doesn't matter because Doppel going through anyways, because Doppel doesn't affect the board over there on the field. And he's going to go ahead and make the Herald of Arclight again, so we have another negation coming out. The disrespect with an attack position too. I like that. But let's go and check it up against some of the newer archetypes. This is up against the newer Plunder Patrol mixed in with the Tenyi, and they're going to be going first as well. He's even got a Super Poly, which honestly isn't that insane against this deck because, well, it depends what you play, technically in the extra deck for your Super Poly targets. Most people just play the Starving Venom, and there's also the World Chalice, where you use a lot of cards out of the extra deck. But Junk Speeder are going to be coming out. Going right into Librarian over there. Going to go ahead and get that effect of Junk Speeder and the Doppel, double tokens, and then Junk Speeder has that awesome ability to go ahead and bring out even more monsters. It's going to be a party, and the Crystal Wing comes out to make these plays a little bit safer. And then we have the Metal Marcher over here, and it's going to let him bring back once again another tuner, and then Double Star Shaman coming out. Not that he really needed that effect, to be honest, but it's pretty much game over for him. I mean, this deck, I just wanted to show it off because I haven't seen anyone play the new Plunder Patrols. I mean, this guy's trying to do the equip game, but again, you need like 5 negates in your deck. I mean, the first turn combo, guys, was a 5 negate plus he had macro, and he wasn't even done. There was not enough time to finish it off. He's going to go ahead and activate that effect. Not that it matters because that's getting negated anyways. He's going to go ahead and bring out Charge Warrior and then draw another 2 cards. Like, this makes this deck look OP to the point where I'm like, dude, I can't want to play Synchros again because Synchros were always my favorite. And he's going to go ahead, make the 10. You draw some extra cards, and we don't even need these cards. He's giving him an extra turn. 3 Tactical Talents as card I think would be good in this deck too. Just in case any of your plays get disrupted, you can go ahead and have Pot of Greed, which is quite good in any deck that can combo extend over here. But it's been over after the first time he was able to establish some board control. But now that you guys have seen it in action, let me go and give you guys a deck profile. I want to say thank you to my boy Dan for hooking me up with the plays as well as the deck profile. I think there are additional cards I think would be good to add into this deck, and I think, if I could spell, Called by the Grave is an excellent card, and there's the Tactical Talents. I think these are great options in the deck as well. Obviously this card is not out. This one is though, and I think this would be a great addition to the deck if you want to go ahead and add it in because I mean, he's running no hand traps. He's letting his opponent do whatever. I even think cards like Dark Ruler No More would be great because you can definitely go ahead and make some big plays, and even though this effect has the effect of your opponent takes no damage, you could basically board wipe, right? And then on top of that, the next turn, if you happen to have Starlight Junction, you can go ahead and shuffle 1 card back that your opponent controls if you want to go ahead and either formula during your opponent's turn or get the effect of the Stardust Warrior over here. But I think these would all be great additions to add into the deck to make it a little bit more powerful. He was also playing a lot more obscure cards that normally you wouldn't see. I actually used to play Force Synchron. It's actually not that bad of a card, but it was mostly with Star Yugioh and combos with the older plants. But this guy, he's locked up, so not as powerful, so to speak, anymore. But he still made it work. So anyways, here's the deck profile. We've got 1 copy of Road Synchron, 1 copy of Junk Servant, and 1 copy of Fleur Synchron, 3 copies of Junk Synchron, because there's a Junk Synchro 2020 deck over here. We got Junk Forward over here. Again, a lot of these are just combo extenders to really help out. We got Quotable Hedgehog, 3 copies of Doppel, Satellite Synchron, 2 copies of Junk Converter, 2 copies of Synchron Carrier, 3 copies of Jet Synchron, 1 copy of Cyber Synchron, 2 copies of Jester Confident, 1 1-for-1, 1 Reinforcement on the Army, 1 Reasoning, 2 copies of Avarice, which really helps out the deck. And we got 1 Foolish, 1 Reborn, 3 copies of Tuning, 2 copies of Synchro Chase. This makes it so your opponent can't activate cards or respond to it. And then if you Synchro summons a Warrior Synchro or Stardust Synchro monster, you get to target a monster in your graveyard that was used and actually just bring it back. This card is really insane too. Then we've got one copy of Living Fossil for an extra, either if something gets negated, like you want to go ahead and use Junk Synchron's effect and it gets stopped, just go ahead and activate your Living Fossil and you can still combo off. And then we've also got 3 copies of Starlight Junction, which is a really insanely good card. Lets you tribute a tuner, supposed to summon a Synchro monster from your deck with a different level, but also, you're able to go ahead and if you Synchro summon during your opponent's turn, which no one got rid of the warrior for him to activate that effect, but if they did, alright, we have that ability to go ahead and Synchro something and go ahead and shuffle something back. But as far as the extra deck, we got Blazar, which we didn't actually make, so maybe this could be an extra spot if you want to go ahead and... Yeah, Needle Fiber is still great. Again, you don't always have to have Double Star Shaman, but it is good. But Blazar, Stardust Warrior, Crystal Wing, Draco Berserker, Tenyi, Stardust Dragon, old school, and then F.A. Dawn Dragster, Charge Warrior, Librarian, Junk Speeder, Guardian Rose Maiden. You could probably pull off some FTKs with this card because you're summoning so many times to the point where if you Black Guardian, you can lock them out of even summoning any monsters if they don't have anything to tribute or if they can't link it off, which, let's be honest, most people will probably end up linking it off or doing something with the tokens in the first place, but there are ways to definitely FTK with this card in Black Guardian. And then we've got Excel Synchron, Held of Arclight, Martial Metal Marcher, and then Formula Synchron, and then the Double Star Shaman. And then these were cards I can suggest for you guys if you guys want to go ahead and mess around with some other cards. But if you guys have any suggestions down below, let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for tuning, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and drop a like on it. And if you guys want to send me other replays, just like my boy Dan over here, thank you once again, homie. Feel free to send it to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. And I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.